Welcome to the Yachats City Council video summary from our August meeting. We had a full attendance and a long but productive meeting. We started off with announcements and presentations. We have an announcement that Dave Buchwald, our wastewater treatment lead, has now been certified in water treatment, so he can do both our water plant and our wastewater plant. We also had a proclamation declaring Yachats a bird city. Now a lot of our natural environment and the bent of the city is to be towards an environment that attracts birds. So this shouldn't be a big lift for us, but we should be able to get that fairly easily. There's an amazing amount of people that travel great distances to do bird watching, especially in the what is our shoulder season, which coincides with migration. We also had a citizen that came to us and asked that the library be named for Sandy Dunn. Sandy was instrumental in getting the grants and funding together for our library. She was also the bookkeeper for numerous nonprofits throughout the city. So it's something that the Library Commission will consider. Her loss is deeply felt. The next thing is the consent agenda. And I'll go through some highlights, but please understand that if you really want to understand what's going on in the city, take a look at the consent agenda. So we have a new sheriff in town. Garrett Brody is our sheriff's deputy, and he'll be here for about 6 months. He's primarily Thursday and Friday, but he is committed to mixing it up, so he'll be here on other days of the week. Our new trolley is expected to come in October, and it'll be here just in time for the Mushroom Festival. So we'll get it tested out and see how well that works. The city is now in a water conservation phase. We are approaching a phase 1 emergency, so please conserve. This month's rain helped a lot, but and we have exercised our agreement with Southwest Lincoln Water PUD so that we can use their water to make sure that, to try to keep up above the levels that we need for phase 1. But if things get worse, we're going to have to declare a water emergency. So please keep alert for that. And in the meantime, conserve water wherever possible. Our wastewater plant was inspected by DEQ this month, and we received a very positive and favorable report. They even praised the city for our investments in maintenance and operations. We also heard that fire hydrants have gotten 25% more expensive in the last 3 or 4 years. There's a lot of steel in a fire hydrant, not just the part that you see, but there's several valves, heavy-duty valves, there's gaskets, backflow preventers, etc. And they've gotten to be quite expensive. So we're still going to put some in, but we'll have to be a little bit more judicious in how many we can do in a year. City manager has formed a fireworks group. They're exploring alternatives to the large booming fireworks, including silent fireworks and laser shows. They will report their findings in a few months. We also have a speed camera group that's investigating what it takes to put up a speed camera in town. But I'd have to remind the citizens that the city has already purchased a portable radar camera that the sheriff can place wherever they want, and then issue tickets based on that radar camera without being parked right next to it. We're also applying for a city circulation plan. Once that plan is done, that qualifies us to apply for additional grants for more passive means of speed control, including possibly sidewalks, more trees, and other measures that can slow traffic just as much as traffic cameras. The city spent quite a bit of time reviewing our finances and capital projects. We reviewed last year's budget, and I'm pleased to say that we came in under budget by a little bit in most of the areas, and slightly ahead of budget in our enterprise funds, which is water and wastewater. It's exactly what you want when you're doing a budget. You want to be as close as possible to what your budget, or if anything, a little bit ahead. And I think we nailed that. We also looked at closely at our capital improvement projects to see which ones could be delayed in case the economy goes south on us and we need to make adjustments to where we're spending some of our money. And capital improvement projects are bigger projects, but sometimes they can be delayed without negative consequences. Speaking of capital projects, we discussed our pavilion. So the pavilion, if you don't know, has some serious issues. We originally were going to do some work to ensure that it was compliant with fire code, which means that you can't have two exits across from each other. However, when we started to inspect the building more closely, we found that the posts, all the posts, are rotted. Some of them 3/4 of the way up. So the posts need to be replaced. It's become a large project, probably in the $285,000 range. To honor the budget process and what we established, the council said that we're going to start that project later next spring and span into the next fiscal year where we can appropriately budget for it. So we're hoping that the pavilion will be up and operational by next fall. But since it's a big, complicated project, requiring several other steps to make it earthquake-proof. We also discussed and approved delineators on Ocean View Drive. We had talked, and frankly, I'd been supportive of curbing along that way, but I've changed my thinking, and we've agreed to put in the highway grade delineators that we see on 101. That can take a lot of abuse. We're going to put them in about every 60 feet, with a few more in places that are sort of problematic for parking, and see what we get from that. We'll also put in some more symbols around biking and walking, and hope that that will do it. They're still not cheap. Those highway delineators cost about $50 each, plus installation costs. And another item that we discussed is that the city manager has developed a grant-based program for her discretionary funds. So every year the council gives the city manager a discretionary fund, and she can do with that as she wants. In the past, it's been somewhat problematic as people come in and ask for money throughout the year. She never knows how much to give. We don't have rules about who gets money and who doesn't. So she has developed a grant process that will be implemented starting sometime in September, where an organization that wants to get funding will fill out a grant form explaining what the benefit is to the city, committing to giving us reports at the end of the year as to how it benefited the city, and then a group of people from outside the city as well as citizens will evaluate those grants on using a score system to see how well the different proposals rank, and we can give that money out at one time. There's about $50,000, $15,000 is the cap on any one grant. In other business, we got a presentation from the Chamber of Commerce on how how they've spent the money that we give to them, or that they actually get from our visitor amenities funds, and it's very clear that their efforts bring in visitors to town and improve our bookings in hotels. They are also deeply involved in next year's marketing plan, so keep an eye out for that, for new branding and a lot of good-looking initiatives. In a more substantive matter, we looked at the rules around elections. We've now implemented a rule that says that the mayor or council, if there is an open position and nobody's running, that write-in candidates have to get at least 5% of the votes that were cast in that election. That number is approximately what a candidate needs to get in signatures in order to qualify to run. Our intent is to make sure that somebody doesn't get in with 2 or 3 write-in votes. I want to be clear that this is not in any way dissing Councillor Hedlund. She's been fantastic. She's a tremendous asset to the city and to the council, but the county has told us that if we don't have our own rules, then the rule of whoever has the most write-ins prevails, and we want to be more thoughtful than that. And finally, the mayor gave us a little show and tell on what some of the new recyclables are that we can now put in our bins. These include hard plastic tubs like yogurt and sour cream, waxy paper milk containers, Tetra Paks, which are like the soup containers and non-milk products, as well as hard plastic planters. So we're finally moving up and catching up with the rest of the state on what we can recycle. So thank you for your time. I appreciate it. And the City Council is delighted that we can do these presentations for you.